Welcome to day 6. This session is on, I think, the most important subject of all, and that is how do you really make sure that after all this work, all this effort, all this success in your life, you're really happy, you really feel fulfilled. And so this introduction to something we call the 6 human needs, I think is perfectly placed for you, especially if you just did the goal setting workshop, because we want to make sure we take away any fear that, what if I achieve all that and I'm still not happy? This will show you how to make sure you never have that fear, and more importantly, that you enjoy your life right now, not someday when you achieve these goals. You really experience it today. So we want to talk about what is it that causes people to be fulfilled and what causes us not to be fulfilled. We want to find out what's the difference between what I would call leverage and drive. Because no matter what you do in life, whether you're hitting a baseball as a professional major leaguer, or you're doing something like going out and working on computers and you're creating songs or music or writing books, or you're designing corporations, or you're constantly figuring out how to debate a legal issue and be effective, there is an emotional side to everything you and I do. And it's a component that most of us try to ignore because we're just trying to get the job done. But it's the part that not only fulfills us, but fuels us as people. And unless you understand that fuel, unless you understand that drive, then you'll always be looking to get a short-term burst of energy through discipline or focus, but you'll never be in that place of just flow, where it just happens, where it's just automatic, where you surprise yourself, where you say, this is magical. This is what life's about. I love this. We've all had moments like that. And I want to share with you the secret of how to have them all the time. All the time? Yeah, all the time. So that when you're not in that state, you know exactly what to do to get back in that target zone where you are your best, where you contribute the most you can contribute, and where you feel the greatest juice of life on a consistent basis, not a spotty, hope it comes back kind of basis. See, part of what it is intellectual. It's part of it is understanding the goal of the game of life. It's pretty hard to win the game of life when you don't know what the goal is, and most of us don't. We think we know what it is, and then we achieve the goal and we say, is this all there is? And we've all had this conversation before, right? But I got a new answer for you. An answer that when you get it, it'll change your life forever if you'll use it. So let me give you a little background. I received a phone call from a gentleman who really wanted me to work with him. And he was in the south of France, and so I said, well, why don't we wait till I come there to do my program there? I was doing a date with Destiny in Cannes. And so I got to the program, and some interesting things had occurred in my life. And I was not in a happy state. I was feeling very frustrated, and I couldn't figure out why exactly. And in a few moments, when I share a little more, you'll understand the why. But all of a sudden, I was not myself. You ever been in that place? You don't understand why. You just don't feel good. You don't feel like you're yourself, but you're not sure why. Well, I was kind of in that place, and the final note for me is I had this opportunity to be with this man, this amazing guy, and I wasn't sure I wanted to do it. He was willing to pay me a fortune. I still didn't know if I wanted to do it. I lost my drive. I mean, I couldn't remember ever being like that. I don't know if you've ever been in that place where you're just disturbed with yourself, but I think it's a good place, by the way. It doesn't feel good, but it is good. You know, I've learned in life that there are 4 classes of experience, I think. I thought of this on a run recently. I said, class 1 experience in life is something that feels good. It is good for you. It is good for others. And it serves the greater good. Those are the peak experiences in life, aren't they? I'll tell you what a class 2 experience is. Something that does not feel good, right? Does not feel good, but is good for you, is good for other people, and serves the greater good. Those are the ones most people want to avoid, but those are the secret to a joyous, successful, and fulfilling life. Class 3 experience, something that feels good, but is not good for you, is not good for others, and does not serve the greater good. And this is the crap you do on a regular basis, isn't it? At least I know I've been guilty of this in the past. And here's a class 4 experience. Something that does not feel good, is not good for you, does not serve others, and does not serve the greater good. So why the heck would we do it? Fear or just old habits, patterning. And these are the worst things of all. I'll tell you what I think the secret to a successful, happy, fulfilling life is. It's learning how to convert class 2 experiences into class 1 experiences. Learning how to take those things that don't feel good, but really are good for you, really serve others, good for others, and really serve the greater good, and making them a class 1, where it also feels good to do those things that are good for you, good for others, and serve the greater good. So here I was doing something that didn't feel good, but it really could serve the greater good. It certainly would serve this other person. It would serve me because, listen, for me to coach someone else, I learn. I'm the one who gets the greatest gift regardless of economics. The real challenge, the real ability is figuring out how to turn something around. And whatever I learn, I can apply to my own life. But I thought, why do I keep doing this? And I kept thinking, I'm seeing the same problems in people all over the face of the earth. In that seminar, there were people representing 28 nations. And I'm reading them, and everybody's got the same basic problems worldwide. In fact, I said, you know what? There aren't that many problems. There's probably only about a dozen problems. So I got in the shower, and I kept thinking, but why do people have these same problems worldwide? I don't care if it's a total top professional athlete. I don't care if it's this multi-billionaire that I work with. I don't care if it's a child in the South Bronx. I don't care if it's a person from India, from China, a person from Singapore. I don't care if it's from Australia, England, France, Italy. I don't care. The U.S., any place I've gone in the world, any place people have come to me, I see the same problems. So I got in the shower. Don't you ever notice how the most important things come to you when you're in the shower and there's no paper or pencil nearby? I'm in the shower, I got soap in my eyes, I'm just at that moment, all of a sudden, wham! This stuff starts coming through me. Well, I've got the answer. My brain just goes, here's the answer. Here's the answer to why everybody does whatever they do. Here's the answer as to why everybody has the same problems. Here's what it is. So I jumped out of the shower, and I couldn't find the towel, soap in my eyes, I'm dripping wet, I'm running outside, I'm running around naked, looking for a piece of paper. I got a pen. I start scribbling like crazy. I got the answer. I got a whole nother level of answer. And I call it the 6 human needs. I began to realize, it started like this. I'm in the shower, my brain said, same problems worldwide. But all these people in different parts of the world have different belief systems. They've grown up in different cultures, there are different rules, right? They have different backgrounds, different experiences. How could they have the same problems? And I thought, is it possible? Because all human beings have the same needs. And well, that would make sense. I thought, but why would they have the same problems? And I began to ask myself the question, is it possible that these needs are inherently in conflict? And that's why we have the challenge. I thought, nah, God wouldn't do that to us. And I thought, no, it'd make life more interesting, probably make us have to grow more, probably make us try to figure things out. Let me play with this. And then all of a sudden this started coming through me. So let me just give it to you with no more buildup. You're saying, give it to me, Tony. What is it? Tell me. Here it is. So if these are our 6 human needs, if these are our 6 goals, then what have we learned? Here's what we learned. First of all, you can meet these first 4 needs in destructive ways and thereby feel a little fulfilled, just enough that you're really not happy, but you're not dissatisfied enough to change, and you will not be fulfilled because you won't grow and contribute, which are the ultimate primary essential needs. So for example, you could get certainty in your life by controlling everybody. And on a 0 to 10 scale, maybe that feels like level 3 of pleasure, of fulfillment. You might get variety by doing drugs at level 3 or 4 of fulfillment. You follow me emotionally? And then if you go to significance, you might do it by tearing everybody else down, therefore making yourself feel more significant. That might give you a 3 or 4. And you could have connection and love by, getting sympathy all the time, or being demanding and noticing that people are responding to you and then calling that love, which it isn't. But you know what? These approaches will not cause you to grow. They will not cause you to contribute, and therefore you will not be fulfilled. And that's a pretty scary place in life. When you're doing all the things you think you're supposed to do and you're achieving it all, and you're still not fulfilled. Now you'll know why. Do you get it? Boy, if you just find a few vehicles, a few of them to meet all your needs, you cannot believe. You won't have to motivate yourself. You won't have to get yourself going out there. You won't have to give you a little push, listen to your little pump-up tapes. You listen to your tapes to get educated. You listen to tapes maybe to get entertained, maybe to remind yourself of the issues, but you'll know what to do because the drive will be inside of you. And you know what? You already have this in some areas of your life. Think about it. Where is there an area of your life where there's something you love to do that for you is effortless? I virtually guarantee you that a minimum of 4 of these 6 human needs are met by that activity, and probably all 6. Now I got another question for you. What's something you hate to do? By the way, before you go to that, think of something you love to do and ask yourself on a scale from 0 to 10, how fulfilled am I by that? In terms of how much certainty do I feel? When I think about doing that, how much certainty do I have that I'll have pleasure doing that activity? How much certainty do I have that I'll enjoy it, that I'll have comfort at least, that I'll at least be able to avoid pain? And then go to variety. How much uncertainty, how much variety on a scale from 0 to 10 will I have by participating? How much is different? How much of this will make me feel a sense of significance or uniqueness or feeling needed? And how much of this will give me these feelings of connection and love? How much of this will give me growth on a 0 to 10 scale? Contribution. And again, if it's something you love to do, I promise you, under your current strategy for perceiving things, appreciating them, noticing them, under your current strategy for doing things, you feel fulfilled in all 6 categories. So now think of something you hate to do. Something you absolutely hate to do. What's something you try to avoid doing if you possibly can? Now some people say, well, there's nothing I hate. Well, what's something you would prefer someone else did? Think about it. And some people say, well, cleaning my house. On a scale from 0 to 10, what's your level of certainty it'll give you pleasure or comfort? -2. It's a waste of time. I hate it. Right? It's just a waste. Makes me uncomfortable because I'm wasting time on other things I could be doing that are more important to me. What's your sense of variety in cleaning your house on a scale from 0 to 10? -2. There's no variety in cleaning. That's the same house, the same crap. It's in the same place. It's boring. What's your sense of significance cleaning your house? Significance? There's no significance. 0. Connection of love, 0. Growth, 0. Contribution, 0. It's not too hard to figure out. But do you know something? There are people, men and women, that if I ask in a room, who here loves to clean their house? I get a couple of people that raise their hand and say they love to clean their house. And you know what? We all want to hire them. Right? Ask somebody, say, and I do this in seminars, I'll say, who here loves to clean their house? I mean, you don't have to motivate yourself. You're just driven to clean your house. And invariably, I'll get a couple of hands, and everybody stares at them like they're Martians or something, right? And I'll say, tell me, ma'am, do you have a sense of certainty that you're going to pleasure when you clean your house on a 0 to 10 scale? She said, absolutely. She goes, you know what? When everything else in my life is so stirred up, I go clean my house. She goes, I feel like I got control over it. I feel good about things. I feel happy. It's part of it is I have time for myself. And I know I do a good job, and I'm certain I can do a good job, and I can complete it and get it done. Do you have a sense of variety from cleaning the house? And this lady says, well, of course I do. Well, what's the variety? She goes, well, every day you go, you don't know what you're going to find. Your kids put something new down. There's always something new in different places and different ways, and, you got to wash different things, and there are different colors, and plus I often listen to your tapes, so I'm hearing something different. I'm learning something while I'm cleaning. I said, you don't get significance from cleaning, do you? She goes, well, yes, I do, because I do a darn good job. I do a better job than anybody, and I know how to get the whitest whites. And they go on about this. And they'll say, I get a level 10 of significance from cleaning my house. How about connection to love? You don't get connection to love from cleaning. Yes, I do, because when I'm ironing, I pray for my children. I feel connected to them. Like, wow, I never stopped to think about that when I'm cleaning the house. What if I did? Maybe I'd be more fulfilled. You see, if you had a different strategy, you could do something that once was boring and feel very fulfilled by it. That's where modeling comes in. How about growth? You really grow? She goes, yes, because I listen to tapes. I think about different ideas. I ask myself questions. Plus, I solve new problems in the house, new challenges. Of course, I'm growing. 10. Contribution goes 10. Nobody else will do it. I'm contributing. That also, by the way, makes me unique because no one else will do it. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Interesting. So now let's relate this. I'll give you a couple of good examples, and let's relate it to you. But first of all, think for a moment. What is something you hate to do? What is something you hate to do? And ask yourself, this thing I hate to do, or I'd prefer other people do. What's my level of certainty that I'll have pleasure, or at least avoid pain by doing this, that I'll be comfortable doing this? 0 to 10, what's your level of certainty that it'll be pleasurable? I'd be willing to bet it's pretty low, isn't it? Maybe it's 0, maybe below, maybe it's 2, 3, or 4. What's your sense of positive variety on a 0 to 10 scale? That there'll be positive surprises or differences in this activity. Probably one of the reasons you don't like doing it is you don't see there's much variety. For you, it's the same old thing. Other people enjoy it because they see variety in it, but you don't. 0 to 10, yeah, you're probably in that minus level, 1, 2, in that range, right? How about significance? This thing you hate to do. How significant does it make you feel? How important do you feel unique when you're doing this? My guess is pretty low or 0. How about the sense of connection and love when you do it? Think about it. How connected? How much love do you feel doing this thing you hate to do? My guess is pretty darn low again. How about growth? You might go, yeah, I grow doing it. No, I don't mean do you grow. I say when you think about doing it, how much growth do you associate to it? Probably very little. And again, contribution, you go, yeah, I contribute. Again, I don't want to know if you contribute. I want to know, does it feel, when you think about doing this, do you feel like you're contributing? Many times you do contribute, but you don't give yourself credit, so that's why it doesn't feel fulfilling. Does this make sense to you? Anything in life can be totally fulfilling if you know what the goal of the game is. All you got to do is organize the game to meet it. So I'll give you some strategies for understanding how to change the patterns that don't work and replace them with patterns that do. But I'll tell you the first step, awareness. You've got to be aware of what's really driving you. You got to be aware of why you're doing what you're doing so you can make a change, so you can find a new pattern for fulfillment. Instead of making yourself wrong, going, why am I so terrible? Why am I sabotaging myself like this? You are not sabotaging. You're trying to meet your needs. And you're probably meeting 2 of your needs and violating 4, and that's why you don't like it. But when you try to change it with just discipline, it won't work. You must become a designer of patterns of fulfillment. So I've given you an immense amount here, way too much. In fact, I teach a lot of this at Mastery University and at Date with Destiny. But I didn't want you to wait to hear this. I wanted to give you these fundamentals now because this is a tape I hope you'll listen to again and again. Whenever somebody does something that you don't understand, whenever you do something you don't understand, and you want to create a change, ask yourself, what needs is this behavior meeting? And how can I better meet my needs to a better behavior, a better vehicle, a better approach? What could I do? How could I change what I'm perceiving about this, what this means to me, what I'm appreciating so I enjoy it more, so it feels like there's more variety or feels more significant? You know, what could I do to change the way I go about it? Maybe I can add music to what I'm doing and that adds variety to this thing that felt boring. Maybe I can do something that's contributing to other people while I'm working on something that I need to change in myself. Maybe then I'll feel more of my needs being met. There are lots of ways. So here's your assignment. Very simple. I want you to write down in a journal, someplace, something you love to do, something you absolutely love to do that for you is virtually effortless. I mean, other people may think it's difficult, but you get immersed in it. And I want you to write it down, and then I want you to make yourself a little 6 boxes. And those are the top 4 are the 4 fundamental needs. The need for certainty/comfort, you can avoid pain, gain pleasure. The need for uncertainty/variety, that there can be surprise, difference. The need for significance, feeling you're needed or important or unique, or that you have a sense of purpose. The need for connection and love. And then those final 2, the need to grow and the need to contribute. And under each one, write down on a scale from 0 to 10, how much does this fulfill me? I guarantee you're going to find out something wonderful. 4 to 6 of these are met at a super high level, and that's why it's effortless. Then find something that you hate to do. That's your second assignment, and measure it 0 to 10. As I said, you're going to find these are low levels. And then here's the kicker. Here's where the real value comes in. As your third assignment, pick something you don't like to do, but you need to do it. It's one of those class 2 experiences, right? It's something that doesn't feel good, but you know it's good for you. You know it serves others. You know it serves the greater good. Pick something like that and make it a class 1 experience, something that even feels good. And the way to do that is say, what could I do so that when I thought about doing this activity I used to not enjoy, I could feel certain it would feel not only comfortable but pleasurable. What could I believe about it? Maybe I could believe that I'm being guided. Maybe I could believe that it's really serving other people. Maybe I could get some instruction that makes me feel like I have more skills so I'm more certain in this area. What could I do on fundamental need number 2? What can I do so there's more variety in this? Maybe I add music. Maybe I get other people involved. Maybe I do it in a different way. Maybe I don't know which room I'm going to start in to do this. I don't know what it is, but I do something different. Maybe I manipulate the environment. I don't do it in one room. I move from place to place while I'm doing it. There's so many different ways. Maybe I start noticing little things I didn't notice before. What can I appreciate differently? What could I perceive differently so I'd feel more variety, more surprise? What could I do physically? What would my strategy be so it feels different? Need number 3, how can I really appreciate how important this is? You got to appreciate it. The secret in life is you got to give yourself these needs, not wait for them to show up. Connection and love. Ask yourself, how can I feel more love? Maybe you've times that you're alone and you're working on something, you feel connected to God, your creator. You know, maybe it's appreciating the connection with yourself. Maybe you don't have enough time like that. You know, contribution. What can I do that makes me feel like, yeah, even though this seems little, everything contributes in life. Even the littlest thing, just making somebody smile is a contribution. When you drop the stone in the pond, the ripple effect doesn't end in that moment. So you have 3 assignments. 1, find something you already love. Maybe something you're a peak performer at and rate it 0 to 10 in all 6 categories so you'll see that I'm right. It's fulfilling to you. That's why you're a peak performer. Find something you hate to do. You'll see why. And then find something you don't enjoy doing but want to enjoy doing and make it something you'll enjoy doing by changing your perception or your procedure. A lot of homework, but invaluable. So go for it right now. Come up with your ideas and I look forward to being with you tomorrow. Until then, live with passion.